Hi.
How are you?
Very well. I'm Renee.
Good to meet you.
Good to meet you too.
Mheshimiwa, karibu sana.
Asante
Mambo
sana.
is my name. How are you doing?
Very well.
Renee Washuka.
Hi, Washika.
Hi. Very nice to meet
Very
you.
good to meet you.
Please have a seat. Have a seat.
Right, thank you.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey.
I see. Kent. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, there's our Kerry.
What, you're trying to become contagious? Why are you looking at
Kerry.
me?
I knew it. Once you would be hanging out with me, Shooks, I'll be saying our Kerry.
It's
And
Ubantu.
Kerry Rowland.
Yeah, it's okay. Just tell us that. It's all right. Just slide.
Oh, Feeling Single is the name of that track from that artist right there on your Best Mix of Music
That
98.4 Capital FM. Shooks and myself, and of course Renee, the lovely Renee. See, even Renee is hard to come out. Renee in the studio. But you know what? Why I'm overwhelmed? We have one of the most amazing women in this country that we have. We have a champion for women, for the youth, and someone who's stood by the truth through and through for a very long time. Introducing Water and Irrigation Minister Charity Ngilu. Karibu sana Mheshimiwa.
Asante sana. Thank you very much.
Lovely to have you in the
Thank
studio.
you. Thank you.
And of course, congratulations on of course launching yesterday your presidential bid, so to speak.
Yes, thank you very much. I had to do that yesterday, and I'm now going to be on the road
Yes,
to start our campaigns.
fantastic.
Yes.
Now, what many would ask is why, what inspired you, so to speak, to come back and vie for the second time?
Good. You remember I have been at this thing 15 years ago in 1997, and the same things that I talked about then in 1997 are still here with us. That time when I ran for the presidency of the Republic of Kenya, I was leader of the Social Democratic Party, and issues of social democracy are the issues that have not been taken on board by leadership in this country. And really, it's amazing, I'm surprised that leadership since President Kenyatta in 1978 did not follow the things that he really believed very strongly in. Because he believed in, first he said he only wanted to actualize 3 things for Kenyans. To ensure that he was going to reduce poverty, ensure that he was going to deal with illiteracy, and ensure that he was going to deal with ill health. Today, 34 years since President Kenyatta died, we're still having these problems with us. And actually, they have become worse. Because when you look at our health indicators, they are just so bad that unless we do something and do something now, we're never going to do, and we are never going to get any economic growth in the country. Remember, what grows an economy is the human resource. And as long as human resource is not available, because either they are sick or they are grappling with challenges that can be dealt with, like just hunger, lack of water. In other words, the higher number of Kenyans, more than half the population, are grappling with basic needs, food and water, health care, how they are going to take their children to school. They cannot even get their wares when they do get to the market. So unless we facilitate and make them actually get over this so that they can start developing the economy of this country, then we are never going to see any economic growth.
And now, Mheshimiwa, you've been, we have all these problems that you're talking about, and you've been part of the system for quite a while. Why do you think we have all these challenges, and why do you think we're taking 10 steps forward, 2 steps forward and rather 10 steps back?
I'll tell you the reason why. Because I think there is no commitment, and there is no good political will just to say, look, we are going to deal with the health problem once and for all. I'll give you an example. I was a minister in charge of health 2003-2007. And I had serious challenges because in our manifesto then, NAC manifesto, we had said that we are going to put in place National Social Health Insurance Scheme that was going to cover every Kenyan. And we went at it so that we make it a law. After completing it, those people who also have private hospitals They also have insurance covers for other people fought it. And this is the private sector. And they actually convinced, I believe, President Kibaki not to sign it into law. Then I was asking that in about 10, 12 years, we were going to make sure that this is done. We are not going to do it overnight. And that we are going to incrementally increase the health budget, which, by the way, has been increased tremendously. I was saying that we are going to do up to 120 billion shillings, and every Kenyan was going to be covered. Today, it's about 80 billion, meaning that we are just about 40 billion short. However, with the health insurance covers, you can see people, in fact, what we have gotten from people who actually came out to National Hospital Insurance Fund to say we can actually give health care to Kenyans. They say they can do so if a Kenyan will pay 2,850 shillings per year. Insurance, meaning 8 shillings per day per person. If we had done so with that kind of money, today we would be at 114 billion, meaning that the shortage would only have been actually 6 billion shillings, and everybody would be there.
Mm-hmm.
So, Shamiwa, the issue of lobbyists, which is what sounds like was the block in the example that you've given, is always going to be there.
Yes.
Because like any free economy, everyone wants to make some money.
Yes.
But healthcare is not only about being able to afford it, it's also about being able to provide it.
Yes.
Doctors, medicine, facilities.
Yes.
How do you plan, or how is your party planning on delivering things like the infrastructure that goes behind providing these basic needs that you speak about?
Let me say here that, in fact, if you go out there, what we had done with all the dispensaries, we had already provided quality medicine. And I can assure you that the structures that we have in place and the changes that we had made, especially with the delivery of the drugs that were centrally procured from Kenya Medical Supplies Agency, they were going direct to the dispensaries. And people were very happy. In other words, the same drugs that you find in a dispensary are the same drugs that you would find in any other hospital. The only difference is that you would not get maybe the same bed in our district hospitals like you would get in a private hospital. You may not get the same treatment as you would get maybe in these very big private hospitals. But I want to say the medicine and the treatment of the patient would be the same.
Well, okay, I'm in this team, the devil's advocate. So you'll forgive me if I ask you questions that sound a bit less friendly.
No, ask me. Ask me.
Well, because, you know,
ask me, let me tell you.
I also can tell you that I'm an Uhuru baby, and I was born into a country that had extraordinary promise, but I've seen that there's a gap between the politicians who walk the walk and those who talk the talk. So it's good to know that there's all this quality medicine, but we sit here and we watch politicians and ministers get sick and leave the country. Mm-hmm. We watch politicians who have children and grandchildren who go to private schools and do not go to public schools. So that when you're dealing with teacher strikes, it's something that somebody in Bunge doesn't take that personally because their kid is not going to be affected. You say you're going to run for president. You want to win, obviously, which is why you're doing it. How will your regime be different?
Let me tell you how my regime will be different. First and foremost, you protect your own. You protect your own. That is first and foremost rule of leadership. Unfortunately, in this country, that is not the case. I'll give you an example. As I was looking through all the things that needs to be done, I need to first understand who do I need to protect, first and foremost. Look at our farmers. Our farmers are so badly exposed that you wonder who will protect them. If today we let our market all be taken by farmers from South Africa, farmers from Malawi, Zambia, Tanzania, farmers from Brazil, farmers from other places where all these things are being imported from? In fact, you'll be surprised. Farmers from Egypt. If you go to our markets here, you find eggs imported from Egypt, from South Africa. What are we doing to our farmers? Sugar imported from Brazil. Sugar imported from other countries. Rice imported from Malaysia, Thailand, India, etc. What are we doing to our rice farmers, to our sugar farmers, to our maize farmers?
True.
Meanwhile, when maize is coming from all these other countries, our maize from Kitale, Trans Nzoia, Rift Valley is all rotting in the farms. What would anybody be sitting and doing, me saying maize coming from all those other countries at the expense of our farmers? What am I doing to them? I'm killing them. Our young people will not be having any work to do. 50 years since the independence, can you believe? Have you seen? I know most of you are young, and therefore maybe you don't go out there to see. Can you imagine that farmers are still using this oxen-pulled plow, you know, 2 bulls and a plow, to do their farms, to till their farms? Are you sure really you can produce enough for your people in the 21st century when we have such equipment that can just till land quickly and ensure that you give people what they need to do and go on with something else so that they can actually develop the economy? I think we have got it wrong. That's why I said we must go back to the basics so that we can help all these people come up, sell their wares. I'll tell you, if you go to the markets, you find cheese that come from New Zealand. I was so surprised to see that they put this same cheese alongside that is coming from KCC, that is coming from Molo, that is coming from Brookside.
Which is less popular.
Of course. I find it that, you know, when you put it in the market, you will just see people. I was watching somebody who just bought the one that comes from New Zealand. I think what they had drawn on top of that, they had drawn a cow. Then they say, this cheese is very good with a picture of a laughing cow. Actually, they call it a laughing cow. And I said, how can a cow laugh? It is a farmer from New Zealand who is laughing. And my farmer in Molo is crying. So I'm saying this cannot be allowed. I'll stop some of these things. They must be stopped. Let me give you another basic example. Go to any public office, mine included. All the furniture that you find there will be coming from somewhere. China, Malaysia, somewhere. You will not find our local furniture, which is being done by our young people. From Muthurwa here, from Gikomba, from Kariobangi, from Dagoretti, it is all there for you to see. How can I not support my local person here to go and support? And you know what we call them? We call them Juakali. Once you have given them that name, Juakali, then you prefer China. I'm sure wherever those furniture come from China, they must be coming from another Juakali in China.
Well, we have the Water and Irrigation Minister, Ngilu, in the studios with us. In case you want to ask anything, please let us know on 0720 0734 984 984. Call us up at 822 as we discuss, of course, the presidential bid and, of course, the way forward for this country.